My soon-to-be ex-wife, Leah, 26F, and I, 28M, were married for only 6 months after dating for 2 years. Recently, I filed for divorce after discovering she sold my family's heirloom engagement ring. This ring had been in my family for 3 generations, featuring a platinum band set with diamonds, and it held immense sentimental value for me. Leah knew how important it was to me and that I want to keep it in the family. Last week, I noticed her ring was missing and asked her about it. She casually admitted to selling it, using the money to buy luxury purses and jewelry, because she considered the ring outdated and not her style. She acted as if it wasn't a big deal, but I was devastated. My mother and grandmother, the original owner of the ring, would be heartbroken if they knew. I demanded she return the items and buy the ring back, but she refused, stating that now we were married, it was technically hers, and she could do whatever she wanted with it. She claimed she had never liked the ring, but didn't say anything before because of its family significance. We had an explosive argument, the worst we'd ever had, and she was completely unremorseful. She told me if I wanted the ring back, I could repurchase it myself. Overwhelmed with anger and disappointment, I packed a bag and checked into a hotel. She didn't try to stop me or even acknowledge my departure. After 2 days with no contact from her, I consulted with a lawyer and filed for divorce. On the 3rd day, I returned home when she was at work, placed the divorce papers on a coffee table, and gathered my belongings. Friends helped me move the heavier items to their places for storage. By the time I left, there was no trace of me in the house. When Leah came home that evening, her parents began bombarding me with calls and messages, accusing me of being petty and irrational for leaving over something so minor. They insisted I talk to her, but I refused and blocked them. Soon after, her friends joined in, calling me unreasonable and selfish. They claimed Leah had contacted the jeweler to buy back the ring because she felt guilty, accusing me of not giving her a chance to fix things. However, when I spoke with the jeweler myself, he confirmed Leah was not actively trying to repurchase the ring. Instead, he told me he would sell it to whoever had the money first. I began negotiating with him and scrambling to gather the funds before someone else bought it. It was frustrating, but I understood he was just running his business. For days later, I blocked all of Leah's friends and family to cut out the noise. The situation had been weighing heavily on me. Leah had always had materialistic tendencies, but I never imagined she would go this far. What disturbed me most was her complete lack of remorse. If this was how she treated me only 6 months into our marriage, I didn't want to imagine the future. Finally, I secured the funds and purchased the ring back. The jeweler, an overly talkative man, mentioned that Leah had suddenly blocked him as well. It confirmed my suspicion. Her attempt to repurchase the ring was all for show. She didn't care about the ring or our marriage. She just wanted to look like the victim. After retrieving the ring, I decided it was time to tell my family. I drove to my parents' house, sat them down, and FaceTimed my grandmother to explain everything. They were shocked, as Leah had always been kind and well-liked in our family. My grandmother was relieved I had recovered the ring, but suggested I demand reimbursement from Leah during the divorce. While I agreed in principle, I knew it would only prolong the legal battle. Without a written agreement proving the ring's status as a family heirloom, pursuing legal action would be futile. My parents understood and supported my decision to move on. For the first time, I allowed myself to cry. The weight of everything, the betrayal, the divorce, the emotional exhaustion, finally hit me. My parents comforted me, assuring me I had done the right thing. It reassured me that standing up for myself and my family's legacy wasn't an overreaction. If Leah couldn't understand why this was so important to me, then our marriage was beyond saving. A few days later, I got an unexpected call from an unknown number. When I answered, it was Leah. She didn't apologize or acknowledge what she had done. Instead, she said she wanted to meet one last time to give me the signed divorce papers and clear the air. She would be at our home in the afternoon and expected me there. Despite my reservations, I decided to go. I figured at the very least, I'd get the divorce papers in person. When I arrived, the house was nearly empty since we had planned to end our lease soon. Leah handed me the papers along with a check for a substantial amount. She explained that she had returned the luxury items and was giving me back what she could from the ring sale. The amount was still a few thousand short of what I had paid the jeweler, but she promised to pay the difference in installments over the next few months. I was surprised but accepted the check, grateful to recover at least some of my loss. Then, for the first time since this ordeal began, she broke down in tears and apologized. She admitted she never expected things to spiral this far out of control. But it was too late. Her actions had already shown me where her priorities lay. Now, I'm just waiting for the finalization of the divorce. I've secured a new apartment and am focusing on moving forward. Leah's attempt to buy back the ring was never about fixing our marriage. It was about saving face. But I refused to be manipulated. I stood my ground, reclaimed my family's heirloom, and set myself free from someone who never truly valued what mattered to me. While this experience was painful, it has taught me an invaluable lesson about respect, priorities, and knowing when to walk away. I have no regrets. I did what I had to do, and now I can finally move on.